Hey you, I'm the Queen of Shade. Welcome to the interview. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and hit my Cash App to support your favorite content creator. Now let's get to the interview. Mwah.
Queen of Shade. Let me tell you something. You're a bougie bitch and your mama is too. Said you're a bougie bitch and your mama is too. You're a bougie bitch and your mama is too. Said you're a bougie bitch and your mama is too.
Salutations, Stufos. This is your fabulous leader, the Queen of Shade, coming to you with another special presentation. Moving full speed ahead, getting to know amazing people, mavericks, powerhouses, all over the world at this point. It has been such a journey for me and such a beautiful experience to be able to talk to people and learn about them and learn their stories and take away information and, a newfound friendship, even in many cases. And having said all of that, to this roller coaster, I have someone new that you need to meet. Now, this man is an insurance agent. He has sold over 1.2 million in policies? Jesus Christ. Okay, no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I got clamped. I'm sorry. Okay, keep going. He's a multi-award-winning top producer. He has clients in 45 states. He has been featured in pnjnews, Fox News, CBS News, and NBC. He has a lot of clients on his page that I recognize, and these are celebrities. But we're going to talk to him today and find out how much it's going to be for me to get a policy so that I can leave my nephew something. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I would like to introduce you all to Mr. Jamil Warren.
Wow, thank you.
Hi, how are you?
Great, I'm great. I'm so happy to be on talking with you.
Listen, my goodness, as I was saying, and I said I would save it for when we came on, I was just telling you, I get dressed for my interviews, and I usually do that, I want to say an hour to an hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours before, because I like to multitask. So what I'll do is, I don't makeup is expensive, hair is expensive, dresses are expensive. I am budding this new TikTok career. I conquered Instagram. Now I have this new TikTok career. So I don't like to have to create or get dressed just for TikTok videos. So what I'll do is I'll dress for my interview. And before my interview, I will do my TikTok content in whatever outfit I'm in.
Smart.
So that's what I was doing. I was multitasking, and honey, I was dropping some serious stuff today about love and fixing yourself and stop waiting for people to save you. Mother didn't save you. Papa didn't save you. You have to save you. It was really deep today. But I said all of that to say this. I went into Instagram and they showed me, I got a notification at the top of my profile, and it says, we have added an about section to all of our, to some of our specified or specific profiles. Now, what happens is, why this is significant is because a couple of months ago, one of my buddies whom I actually interviewed did a live, and he was talking about all profiles that have been verified by Instagram and not paid for, not paid for, have the about section when you go to look up the profile. So I'm laughing and I'm tee-heeing and everything at his live, like, yes, that's a shame. They're going to be out there. They're going to be exposed. And then I went to my profile and there was no about me section. And I was like, wait a minute, I didn't pay for this. Okay, so here's the story. I didn't apply for verification. In 2018, that was my breakout year. The Queen of Shade started in 2016. She went viral. So in 2018, that was my breakout year. I had 21 million likes.
Wow.
On my entire platform of Instagram in 1 year. So because of that, I remember going into my Instagram and it said, you have been verified. I didn't have to apply. I was verified. So they gave it to me because of my hard work. they gave
Yes.
it to me. And I was very proud about that. And I was like, wow, I work, because I have over 22,000 60-second pieces of original content that I've created, all said from my mouth and the divine. I don't play. So I didn't have that about section. So I kind of left Instagram alone, because I'm like, these people on here thinking I done bought this and that I'm not real. And, this is that and the other. And I'm like, oh my God, this is going to make me look bad, because people don't understand. It takes a lifetime to build your reputation, but seconds to destroy it.
Absolutely.
So I'm like, this is going to destroy my clout and my respect on Instagram, because, I reached out. They have this new concierge thing where if you have a business, and I have an LLC, so actually two of them, I can contact them through that, and they can look it up and check it out and stuff like that. So I said to them, I was like, please check, I want to make sure that my blue check is verified. I want to make sure it's legit. And they wrote me back and said, yes, your check is legitimate. We did it. It's not a thing. But I'm like, then where's the about section? Where is that? So that was last year, before I really decided to leave them for 7 months, because I disappeared from Instagram for 7 months. I started to build my YouTube and my TikTok. So I come back, and my posting style has changed. See, I love when people think, oh, she just went away, she's resting somewhere. She's just, no, honey, I was working. I did over 200 hour-long interviews with various people around the world.
Wow.
So now my Instagram looks completely different, because now it's just marketing. So what I do is I post a picture and say, go to YouTube, check out this interview with such and such, and the person can become a collaborator. I love that they do that too. So it'll show on their profile as well, which grows both of our profiles, but also allows us to, say that we did this work together. And so I opened up today, and I'm like, finally, you guys are telling me that the About Me section will appear. So I'm just like, all right, so now these bitches know that she didn't buy yet. It was awarded, So that's kind of where you caught me, which is why I had to get that all out, because that was me going, yeah, okay, these bitches said I was fake, and I'm not fake and phony. So anyway, Mr. Warren, how are you today?
Putting in the work. So I feel where you're coming from. You definitely want to be respected for all the work that you put in, because you have a lot of content out there, and that's not nothing to sneeze at. That shows that you really are out here. You take your content very serious.
Yes, very, very serious. But get this, I'm not the only one, because it seems like you take your business very seriously as well.
I do. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, very seriously. Tell everybody, you sell life insurance, but give us the rundown of what you do.
Yes. Well, can I go with the story?
Yes, we got plenty of time, baby. You my only interview today, and I did it on purpose.
Got it. So when it comes to the life insurance industry, first of all, I just want to make it very clear. I'm from Pensacola, Florida. Mm-hmm. So Panhandle area in the state of Florida, of course. I never, ever would have thought of that I would ever be in an industry like this, because we know this is not a sexy industry. This is not a popping industry. This is not what we do to be respected, right? So what the backstory that led me into it is because my best friend mom had passed, and we knew that she had life insurance. For some odd reason, it wasn't paying out. So I'm always one of those type of people. I want to know why. I'm just one of those type of people. I love to learn. And I found out that she had what they call an accidental death policy, which means that it will only pay out if she died of an accident, if she died of natural causes. So in my mind, I felt that, wow, if that happened to her and my friend's family, I can only imagine how many people around the world that has either found themselves in that position or is getting ready to find themselves in that position. That's what made me start researching the industry. And I learned, I was like, well, maybe this is something that I should go into. I didn't think that I would be where I'm at now, but I was like, let me research, let me go into, because most people that do know me know that I'm a very serious person, very trustworthy person. I take my name and reputation very serious, because that's all you have. And I started realizing that accidental death policies is what the credit unions, what the banks offer, and even a lot of employment. So that's when I got in the industry, started educating people, and one by one, that's how I built my life insurance agency. So that's what I do full time.
Wow. And it's full time. See, I love that, see that, but see, that's what I like. Cause that even goes with the thread of what we were saying when we first started. You're a boss and you do it exclusively. I'm a boss. I do this exclusively. I don't have no other job,
Well,
so that is so, I just find that to be so amazing because, I've heard, get this, I heard your name long before I asked you to interview. And that's because I follow Vicki Winans.
oh, wow.
Yeah, she used to come when I was a child. She used to come to my church and sing a lot.
Really?
Yeah, she knew my pastor. Yeah, yeah,
Queen Vicky, salute to her. I love her. I love her to pieces. I just spoke to her the other week.
yeah. And she was the one. She was on there like Jamil Warren, if you need it. I thought she was gonna go in line or cheat it if you need, like yeah. But and I love her because Vicky, Miss Winans, is so comical.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
so comical. But she was in that video, she was expressing the need for all of us to have preparations after death. After
Yeah.
death. And that
Yeah.
she was dropping your name and she was wearing the glasses. And I know who designed the glasses because I have the same pair from the designer. And I'm like, oh my God, like she's just a wonderful person. And it's kind of funny because I heard your name there. And I want to say, that was 2 years ago.
That was 2 years ago. That was 2 years ago. It was. It's been a while.
Yeah. And I just went on with my business. I just went on, and then how did I think I was being nosy. I think I was being nosy. I think I was following you. I think you might have even said something to me. And then I went and saw who it was and saw the Winans video on your page. And I was like, oh, this is him.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's what made me ask you to, sit down and talk to me today. And it's kind of funny because this is not really an interview. This is a conversation.
It's just a conversation. And I can feel it. And thank you for bringing that up because now that I think about that, if you, like you said, you follow Vicky, that is not something that she do.
Yeah.
And I'm certain, being a content person, you
Yeah.
can tell one who promotes businesses, you can tell when if you look on her page, even now, there is no one else that she's ever talked about. And it wasn't that she just sent me a video. She posted it actually on her page and it's still on her page. And it's been a few years now. So I'm very, very appreciative of that.
Well, I saw you from that video. Your name became stuck in my head from that video. So that's what people don't understand, like the networking, and you provided her a service. And
yes.
And a product. So it was just like, wow, that's what brought you here to my camera. And I'm so like, I'm winding down because I was really hype at the beginning. I was like, yes, these bitches gonna know I'm for real legit. But I'm winding down and getting into this conversation because it's just so amazing. That is not easy to do. I mean, there's a huge difference between starting an insurance business, getting licensed, and then, building clientele. There's a lot that goes into that because like you said, life insurance isn't a sexy business, but it's a business that outlasts every other business. Why? Because everybody dies.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Everybody. Yes, most definitely. And not only that, there are certain scenarios that have happened in my career that has made me appreciate what I do. And came from, I had to come from a place where, I'm not ashamed of what, because whenever you deal with families that come to you, like I had a client that came to me, she was 50 years old, healthy, she thought, never been sick, never been in the hospital before. And a lot of women, they, when they turn 50, that's when they go get their colonoscopy and all of those things. And she went and had her colonoscopy done for her 50th birthday, just as a normal thing to do, and found out that she had stage 4 cancer. Never been sick before, never been in the hospital before, Nothing like that. So when she told me this, I'm on the phone like this because she started off upbeat, just like you. And she delivered that news to me. And here I am, happen to help her. And she passed 6 months after that. That was a situation there that I speak on a lot, because that is when it really clicked for me that, you know what, this is extremely serious, what I do, because no one wants to think about it while they're living, but this is the first thing people think about when they pass. And somebody has to be there for their families. They want to make sure that the right thing is in place. They want to make sure that they didn't live their life and pay for something that is not going to end up going to their family in the long run. So it's extremely important.
You know, while you were saying that, it's so like people don't understand that. People don't understand because, you know, Black people, I'll just start there, especially. Black people have been left out of the loop of a lot of things on purpose by the powers that be, because if we can keep you stupid, we can keep you from rising. But what people don't understand about death and passing is that when a person passes, not just the funds or the money is inherited by the family, so are the debts.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people don't understand that your mother can go and you say she didn't have an insurance policy, you still inherit her debts. And a lot of people, like, this industry is one where a lot of people are afraid of, but at the same time, it is definitely one that needs to be highlighted more, because, like, it's so funny because I told my grandmother, now mind you, get this. My grandmother, and I'm just gonna be very frank here, my grandmother's 75 years old. She has diabetes. She has, no, she doesn't have high cholesterol, blood pressure sometimes, yeah, blood pressure. And then also suffers from depression, I think, as well, where she takes medicine for that. She recently had a heart evaluation. Her heart is good, but she has a pension where her pension is, as long as she is living, she can receive those benefits, and so can the people that she says or states. Once she dies, nothing.
Over.
And it's so crazy that I'm saying this because I'm opening up. It has been the biggest fear of mine forever, because my grandmother funded my business and my start. She put up the capital. Her retirement was in the six figures, and she literally, hold on one second. Is that did the phone ring or?
Yeah, I think an email or something like that came through.
You don't know how to parse? Did you put it on? Did you do the do not disturb? Yeah, do the do not disturb. If you pull down the menu, it should say focus. And then when you hit focus, it should say do not disturb, and it will silence everything.
So let's do this here. Okay, now I think it's on.
Okay, that's not a problem.
I think it was on sleep, not do not disturb.
There we go. So get this. So like I was saying, she took her retirement, 40 years. She was an educator, a teacher. You know, they don't make a lot of money, but my grandmother was very savvy with money. So when she retired with more than enough, because my grandmother has taught me the same practice. You know, go with less on the front end so that you can collect more on the back end.
Absolutely.
That's how I run my business. It's not about the likes and the views today. It's about the likes and the views 5 years from now.
Same here.
Yeah. Same. So it'll build momentum over time. And then, you know, with content, you can recycle it, reuse it, generation after generation, you own it. But she's in a situation where 75 years old, no life insurance. So I used to be so worried because I'm like, you gave me all your money. What's going to happen to me even? I used to be in therapy for it, like, because I am in therapy, but I used to talk to my therapist about it because I'm like, there's nothing in case she goes. There's nothing. So today she told me, she's like, because she's a silent business partner. So she knows when I'm about to do this. She knows she knows my schedule. So, excuse me. So she said to me, "Oh, you have that Warren guy today, right?" I said, "Yes, with the life insurance." She said, "You make sure you ask him all those questions so we can figure out how we can both get life insurance." So she asked me that. So I was like, "Yes, but that is, it's so crazy because my grandmother, like I said, she was very, very savvy with money. To this day, I only can credit the divine, and she credits the divine with how savvy she was with money. And she would, like I said, she would go without up front and collect it all. There are colleagues of hers that had to go back to work after retirement.
Yes.
Because, and it's just like, and then like we have neighbors, and I remember my neighbor said to my grandmother, because they got close, and she was like, "You make more in retirement than my husband and I do working." My grandmother was like, listen, she did all of, and I always ask her, "How'd you do it?" And my grandmother's a teacher in every sense of the word. So she's like, "Baby, I took those extra certificate classes, the courses they wanted that were going to certify me for this, certify me for that. It added more money to and value to my degrees." She has a master's. So she would say, I would go, like, I remember being a child, because we're from Philadelphia. So I remember being a child and my uncle driving her to the University of Pennsylvania at night after she taught all day.
Wow.
To take courses.
Yes. That says a whole lot about her. The fact that she kept going when she didn't have to.
Yeah.
Because most people have the mindset, well, this is enough.
Yeah.
She studied adding on top because she was thinking about her future, and it's paying off.
Yeah. It is, but I am kind of mad at her because there's no life insurance. Like, I need, like, because my thing is this, like, my grandmother is healthy, but my thing is, when I came, like, I've only been away from my grandmother for 4 years in my life. I'm 39, I'll be 40 in September. So for 4 years only, but I've been with my grandmother the whole time. So when I came back as an adult, I've been with her here 16 years, and we just decided we're going to do this business and it is paying off. But it's just like, that was just such a worry to me. I always worried about what would happen to me. And me and my grandmother, we didn't really like to talk about it because it was like, oh, I'm not going to die. I'm not going to die, but it's like, listen, we got to really start to put this stuff in place. And I'm a firm believer, like I said, I'm a shaman, an oracle, prophet, seer, healer. I do a lot of extra spiritual work outside of what I do for social media and the world. So, it's a big deal to me,
Yes.
like, and I believe that things happen for a reason. I've got you sitting here, you locked here. You can't go until I tell you can go, because you're going to answer all my questions. So like that, but that is so crazy. So go back to the woman with stage 4.
Yes.
Colon cancer. Were you able to help her with a policy?
Yes, I was able to help her with a policy. So I'm gonna answer something for your grandmother, and then we're gonna go back to her.
Yeah.
That your grandmother didn't have life insurance. I'm certain she had life insurance through her job. I see this happening all the time. I have a lot of clients like her that has had life insurance through their job, and they had their retirement, and it was all coming out of their check. And a lot of them did not know that whenever they retired, they was not going to be able to take that life insurance with them, which is why I educate people that it's important for you to own your own policy. Because when you have it through your job, they own the policy. You're just a certificate holder. So when you retire, if you don't pass while working, that's the only time it'll pay out. When you retire, you no longer have that life insurance anymore because you never owned the policy to begin with.
Wow, Jamil.
And she was paying for life insurance with her retirement.
Yeah.
Through, I see this all the time, which is why I'm definitely always speaking to people that is employed. That look, I know it's cute They have everything coming through your job, which is great. Health insurance, retirement is great. But when it comes to life insurance, you need to be the owner. You need to own that. Because if you get fired or if you retire, you're not going to be able to take that policy with you.
Wow. And like, it's so crazy because I've had a lot in my life. I live with bipolar type 1, PTSD, and acute anxiety disorder, all three. I was diagnosed at 19. It kind of took it, maybe I had to be medically withdrawn from college. And then I spent many of my early adult years just running from it. And then I end up in hospital, just do all of that stuff. So now I am able to, like I said, for the last 16 years, thanks to my grandmother, I have had therapy and medication and life-sustaining medication. And, it's just, oh my God, like it's so crucial that we have more conversations like this, because people don't know. Like you said, it's important that you are the policy holder. Like I already know I have to get a policy. I know I have to get a policy. Like that's nothing, because my thing is, my grandmother was also responsible for a lot of lives. Like she had 4 generations and she was the only one that went to college and graduated. So I was a kid, but it just was like, it was so many mouths to feed, including her brother and her sister, her 5 children. Husband didn't want to be in the picture. Like, and then the 4 grandbabies, which was me, and the great grandbabies. She did a lot for her family while she's, been alive. But, and I can honestly say this, because of our business, we were able to square away a lot of debt. Like we were able to pay off a lot of debt. So that is in our favor. But I have 2 nephews that I helped to raise that I love. And I just, like the other day, I did, because my psychiatrist always said to me, you need to have a living will. You need to have a living will. Like you got to have that. So I did my living and my death will the other day. And I did it. I asked my lawyer, I said, I will draw something up, but right now, how do I just get started? How do I get it out there? He had me film myself. I filmed myself and said where everything was. I read what I wrote, and then I sent copies to my nephews. And my nephew, based on what I do and everything, they were like, this is too much. This is too much. And I'm like, listen, you guys are it, but I want a life insurance policy because I want to cover any debt, but it's so crazy too, because it seems like in my life, in my family's life, like my grandmother, everybody, we get such a late start. It's like a late start. You see,
Yeah.
like I said, I'll be 40 in September, and I've been in entertainment for 20 years, but 6 years ago went viral, and that was my start. And now even now, I have so much on my plate, but it's just the beginning.
It's just the beginning.
Yeah, so I just want to make sure, because I would be devastated if my nephews didn't get, because they suffered with me.
Yeah.
They suffered with me, they went without with me. We were all up in this small house, being there for each other.
Yes.
My one nephew, he won't even, I can't listen. I'm not one of those people that enjoys the limelight. I come to camera and I do it on camera, but I rarely go out. I seldom go out. I like to stay in an area where I know the stores, I know the market, I know the doctor. So that's really what I do. Other than that, I'm in my space. I'm also ambivert. I'm an ambivert. So I'm actually an extroverted introvert. So I'm always focused on my work, because as a shaman, the divine, we're always having conversations, and I'm, like I said before, I'm delivering messages that need to be said to heal and to set free and to deliver, even though I'm not religious, I'm spiritual. But I want to make sure that is in place for them. So here's the question, and I already know it because you've already said it yourself. Do you have a policy on yourself?
Oh yes, most definitely.
Yes, I knew you would. How does that look? Like, I mean, like when you walk me through, someone says to you, okay, Jamil, I need a policy. Where do you take it from there?
Yeah, so me being the fact that I definitely build one-on-one relationships with my clients, whenever they come to me and say that they need a policy, the number one thing I'm looking for is why. Like, because people take out policies for different reasons. Some people take it out to build money long term. Some people take it out just for final expenses. So that is my thing, is finding out why. Once we establish why you want why you putting the policy in place, then I want to know what is going to be best, because I'm big on affordability. I don't care whether if it's my millionaire clients, whether if it's my regular 9-to-5 clients. I do not care. People always have something going on, and you don't want to start too high. So I want to find a policy that is going to meet the budget, but also meet their need and come into the middle as close as possible. So that's the number one thing.
Yeah. With me, the policy would need to look like, and I'm just saying, I'm just using me as an example. I would just need to make sure my grandmother, I need to be okay when she passes. Now, I know she's not going to, but we have to have this conversation. I need to be okay, which means I need to be able to settle expenses and still be able to keep my townhouse and, stuff like that. Whereas she was the one that was mainly my overhead. She took care of all of my overhead. I just need to be able to make sure that I can continue that. And my overhead isn't millions of dollars. You see, it's not millions of dollars. I got this thing down to a science. I can do this thing for next to nothing. But when people ask me to do it, I charge top dollar.
Yeah.
Because the work and the effort. But I can do this, literally, hair, makeup, wigs. I can do this for next to nothing. That's how I started. So I just need to be able to continue.
Yeah.
So,
and that's important to know, because a lot of times when I'm talking to clients that's looking for something for final expenses, the main thing we want to look at is, okay, do you need that'll cover you, that'll take you 3 months after the passing, 6 months after the passing, a year after the passing? That's another way to look at it too, because a lot of times people may not be able to afford the big policies. They may not be able to afford to be able to be all 5 years. So again, doing what's going to be affordable is always best, because I hate to see people get policies and then they end up losing the policy, then something end up happening. I think people even harder, because they did do the right thing by putting something in place, but they started off with something that they weren't able to handle. And even that, a conversation can be had and you can reduce it. But because of ego and pride, some type of people don't like to have those type of conversations. So I'm big on starting off the right way, where you'll be able to handle it, because my motto is you want to be able to have this conversation, put these things in place, and don't have to worry about it again. The conversation don't even have to come up again, because you take care of it.
Yeah, I definitely like that a lot. So let's change gears real quick, because I'm picking your brain. Clearly you can see I'm in need of a policy. But you said you started in Florida. Are you an only child? I'm segueing because it's heavy.
That's good. I'm not the only child. I'm the baby of 3. I have 2 older brothers.
So you the baby and you the most successful, huh?
I am. The crazy part about it is I'm the baby, but it's so crazy because it's always end up coming up. I am the baby, but I'm not treated like the baby.
Right.
I've always been treated like the oldest. The dynamic between me and my that is the same way as well. My oldest brother is treated like the baby. My middle brother is treated like the middle. I'm the baby, but I'm treated like the oldest. It's kind of always been that way my entire life, and even still now, it's kind of like everyone pretty much know their place. I didn't ask for it. I didn't like it at all growing up, and it even gets annoying now, because something can be going on with one of my older brothers, and my mom is calling me and like, you need to talk to your brother and this and that and the other. And I'm like, he's my older brother. Like, I don't understand why I'm always having to come to his rescue, why I'm always having to give him advice. And she used to tell me a lot coming up with, Jamil, you don't understand, everyone is not as strong as you. And it took me when I got grown, I was able to understand that. When I was a teenager, I thought it was just an excuse. I thought that she was just making up an excuse until it came up again. She was like, no, Jamil, I'm not even as strong as you. I lean on you a lot too. So I'm kind of like you too. I'm an introvert, extrovert, but I like to be alone a lot too. So when you were saying that, I'm like, wow, we have a lot in common because I'm the same way. I like to live on a certain side of town. I live near just about everything. My bank is right here. My barber is right here. Everything is in is on the side of town that I live on. I really don't have to leave my side of town
Yeah.
for at all. Not even the gym. So it's kind of always been that way. So to circle it back, I'm the baby. I'm the baby of three.
You know what? So that is the thing too. They also, when money comes into the family, it doesn't matter if it's the baby, if it's the middle child or the oldest. For Black families that did not have that kind of financial income before, that child becomes responsible for everybody. Like that's so funny that we're bringing that up, because I know many men, I'm not gonna say no names because they would kill me, but I know many men who, have played professional sports, and they knew they were going to the NFL. They knew, and as soon as they got that contract and the ink is signed and dried, now they got to do this for mama, they got to do that for their brother, they got to send this person to college, they got to send their baby sister to school. Like it becomes a lot, and it's kind of funny because my family is not really closely knit. There's a lot of mental illness, first of all, unchecked. So my grandmother and I, we kind of are in our own bubble because we're the ones that we went and got checked and do what we have to do. And then there's my two nephews as well that handle whatever is there mentally that needs to be dealt with. Everybody else is kind of flying by the seat of their pants with their mentality, and we don't want that. It's dangerous. I had my brother, this was crazy. I had my brother here back in March, and he had stayed with us an entire year, and he was schizophrenic. And I thought that, and he didn't seek treatment. And the thing is, I thought my brother would recognize me. No, he ended up trying to kill me on the floor of my bathroom. And there's a 3-year restraining order in place, Cecil. So it's just so much. But, I said all of that to say that, I see it in myself too. People want to call me, people want to do this. Listen, I don't answer my phone. Because like you said, my grandma and my nephews on my side of town. Everybody else don't live over here. So I like you said, I spend a lot of time to myself, but these are the things that I think about when I'm alone. And it's why I work so hard. People don't understand it. Like, oh, well, she's just built differently. I'm built differently. Yes, we do have to admit I'm a freak of nature, and that's a good thing. But also what drives me is, like you said, that responsibility. I am the oldest of the grandbabies. I did, even as a child, have to steal lunches from school to feed my siblings. That never went away.
Yeah.
And then for me to become as successful as I have become even thus far, it's like I had to deal with survivor's guilt. That was something that I had to deal with in therapy. There was a lot there, but now I'm at the point where I realize everybody's grown. You got the same, you have the same 24 hours in a day that I have. Use them wisely. So my therapist and my psychiatrist taught me and my nephew, my nephew, who's my favorite, his name's Numi. Well, his name is Evan, but he goes by Numi. But he said to me the other day, he came by, and just so much going on with my career. I'm elevating. It's just so much going on. And the career it has the trajectory, it has the promise of going all the way, but I'm not a fool. I've been on turbulent ground before. I know something can, tank it, something unexpected. So I'm just, but my nephew said to me, he was like, Unc, I was like, yeah, babe. He was like, just promise me that you won't become this old millionaire and start giving your money to the family. Please don't do it. Like, it's checking me. He's like, please don't do it. Like, they don't mean well, no good. They take your money and still talk about you. Like, come on, just promise me. And I told him, I said, no, I'm not doing that. I said, he asked me, he said, what you gonna do? I said, real estate.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
And you learn how to be in touch but out of reach.
Yeah.
I'm like that.
Yep.
Get in contact with me, but as far as being in my space and being around all the time, I cannot deal with a lot of energy, a lot of personalities on a daily basis, even on a weekly basis. I've worked very hard to get to where I am in my life, in all aspects. And I'm just not going to put up with something that I don't want to. So again, I had to get to the point where I was okay with that, because when you come from a close niche family, of course, the first thing you're going to start being labeled selfish, you're going to start being labeled all of these things. And thankfully, I went through a lot of that stuff before I came into the insurance business, because I actually became an entrepreneur early on. My first business when I was 20, I had a cleaning business. I did that for years as well. And so I've seen how things can change, which is why, and I'm gonna say this because I know certain people are going to watch this, and I want any and everyone to be inspired to keep going and to follow your own path, even if it's not the path of your family. Because I come from a family of athletes. And if you was the athlete in the family, you was the one that everyone rallied behind. You was the one that everyone supported. I wasn't the athlete. I wasn't athletic at all. So I wasn't the one that was supported. And when I made up my mind that I was going to go into business when I was 20, my mom was totally against it. She was like, "Oh no, that is dumb. You need to get a job. You need to do this. You need to do." And I'm like, "Okay, cool. Well, I'm gonna do it anyways. I'm just not going to tell you, because I'm just one of those people. If I get your support, great. If I don't, great as well. Thankfully, I'm just strong, built like that. I'm gonna go ahead." So, long story short, I was working a full-time job. I did everything I need to do as far as getting the business set up. Of course, supplies, but as far as the legalities of it, LLC, the name, the banners, and the marketing to start securing clients. I secured my first 3 contracts, and I was able to leave that job. I was an entrepreneur full-time for 6 months, working for myself at 20 before my mom even knew. And when she found out, I think it hurt her more than anything, because she was like, "Wow, you actually still went ahead and did this and then tell me about it." But she knew why I didn't tell her, because she shut it down. But I forgave her. I didn't hold it against her, because I had to look at it from her point of view and look at my family dynamic. It was not in our family.
Mm-mm.
You know, she didn't grow up seeing that. She didn't grow up seeing an entrepreneur and someone building a business. So I kind of can understand. It was not familiar, but when she seen me do it, I never had to worry about her believing in me. Anytime after that, I said I was going to do something, she was like, "Yeah, if he say he gonna do it, it's gonna be successful, because I know him. Because he's not going to give up. He's going to see it through."
You know, I love how you said it wasn't in my family, because my family on my mother's side and my father's side is the opposite. Everybody's a singer. Everybody has talent. Everybody's smart, you know? So when they saw me, they're, I hate to say it like this, but you know, if you have a girl group, some people are slated to sing background.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the lead vocalist who arises. And I turned out to be the lead vocalist, because I also make music as well. So, you know, I turned out to be able to carry a solo career. So it was like, it was a fight. It was a fight. Like my people, it was a fight with my people so bad. And then prima donna, oh, you're this, oh, you're that. I think the first time they took me seriously was when I didn't tell anyone that I had moved to Paris.
Mm.
I was 22 and I moved.
Wow.
I moved to France to pursue my fashion career.
Wow.
They didn't find out. The only one that knew, like you see, I do big things, because what happened was like no one knew but my baby brother, because we were living together in the States. So we were kind of supporting each other, being that support to each other that we needed. So, you know, without a college degree, it took 2 of us to do that. So turn around, and he was the only one that knew. And my grandmother and everybody's calling him, "Where is BJ? Where is BJ?" And one day he got mad at all of them and was like, "Look, stop asking me where he is. He's safe. He's in France." And I'll never forget it. Like
What?
everybody flipped. He's where? What? Like it wasn't even, it was like an angry thing. They were like, what? He didn't even tell nobody. He's not even in America. How dare he go that far? Like, but I had to, I love that trip because that was the trip I showed them, bitch, I will get this.
Absolutely.
I will get this. I will get this. I'm prepared to go around the whole world if I have to get. And after that, they kind of like, when I came back, I was still sick. I was still running from bipolar disorder and the treatment of it. And I still, so I sat, and it's been 17 years since I've been to France, but I'm actually looking to move my entire career there. I'm not interested in Hollywood. I'm interested in going back. I made a lot of connections while I was there. Those connections have only become bigger, more successful, more famous people there. So I'm still in connection with them. And so it's like, come on over. And so, but the thing is, I realized that, you know, because here my townhouse is rented, and I know, like, okay, I got to do this savvy wise because, you know, I own a business. So there has to be a base. It has to be a base in my city. My LLC is based here. So I have to have a base here, and I don't want office space. I do what I do from home. So I'm thinking about a nice brownstone or a condo or something like that in the center of the city, mind you, because then me and my grandma, we want to be able to walk to everything. So I'm thinking about those things. So, but it's kind of funny that you said that, but for so long, I doubted myself because they were always in my ear, always trying to like downplay my ability. But it was a lot of jealousy. It was a lot of jealousy. I mean, even to this day, they don't talk to my grandmother because they're so mad with her for funding me. Yeah, they don't even come visit. They don't even come visit.
That is so unfortunate, and it's so crazy because I see this a lot.
Yeah.
And when you learn, how can I put this? When you've dealt with family hurt, I think you can pretty much deal with any type of hurt after that. Relationship hurt, on the job, or a failed business, or whatever it is. When you realize that family, blood doesn't make you family, to me, I say blood doesn't make you family, blood makes you a relative. There's a difference. There's a difference being a family member to someone and being related to someone. And a lot of times, I don't even like to use the word jealousy because how it's so thrown around so much. People, any little thing, someone use the word jealousy, but you know when something is rooted in jealousy, it hits different. And it's kind of like, I've always lived my life like that too. A lot of my family members didn't even know about the business because I was featured in the news here, and it was all in the newspapers and all on the radio and all of these things. And a lot of them had found out about my business from that way. Well, I had been in business for a few years then. And a lot of them didn't know. And I'm like, well, I don't owe it to you. I'm not getting on a conference call to call y'all and tell y'all what I'm doing. I'm just going to do it. And who likes it, like it, who supports, support, and who don't, I don't take it that serious. You know, as far as what my family members think about me, because I love my family. I love my friends. I love those who I attract, and you just mesh with who you mesh with. And a lot of times it end up not being family members. Sometimes it may end up being a friend, or you just never know who you're going to end up being connected with, you know?
You know, I am actually connected more with a lot of my supporters. A lot of my supporters have turned into and I mean have turned into family. Like, and that's why people, it's so funny because I love how you said, you know, I can't have a bunch of people around me. I can't either with what I do, and the divine connection, I can't. So like in this house now, it's just me, my grandmother, and our crazy ass cat. She's crazy, but I love her, but she's crazy. I adopted her. Never again. But you know what's so crazy is that, you know, even with these interviews, I ask people to have these conversations with me whom I am interested in getting to know. And then I make the first gesture. So literally, when I send out the invitation, it's the same, but it has my actual phone number in it. Because that's my way of saying, let's start a new relationship. Let's get to know each other. Let's talk. Let's chat. Let's do that. And I'm real good at that. And people ask me, well, baby, your number's out there. This is that. I'm like, my number's all over the internet. Like, you call me. I'm a mentor. You call me. But my thing is, I have 2 phones. And I have mastered, like you said, being alone a lot. I love my own company most. I will watch look, my picture. I got 2 pictures of myself on these phones. I will watch them ring. I will not answer.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing, because my grandmother even said to me through this whole journey, she watched my mentality go from a consumer's mentality to an entrepreneurial mentality. And that what you say it again.
The switch.
Yes. And that mentality alone, I just, and what's so great about it is the entrepreneurial mentality understands the consumer mentality.
Oh, yeah.
But the consumer mentality doesn't understand the entrepreneurial mentality. So it's not that I expect everyone around me to be the entrepreneur, but when I walk in the room, it's not even me commanding it. My mentality takes precedence.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like it just does. And my family, oh, you walk in here like you're a prima donna, or you do that, and I'm listening. And I really had to examine that. And it's like, no, I walk in here with a knowledge, a knowing. And you see that I know. And you're uncomfortable because now you know. You know, you see, I love my family. I do, but I love them from afar.
Yeah. I respect that wholeheartedly. In my lifetime, I have kind of, and another reason why I have to shut down, because when I meet people, they are instantly drawn to me. And before you know it, I think it's because it's a safe place. A lot of people empty out on me. I'm actually a certified life coach, but I don't work with clients. I did it so I can navigate and get through my own life. But I do have the tools to work with clients, but I don't do it as a business at all. I just got the certification just to be doing it. And that's another reason why I shut down, because whenever I do end up having conversations with people, they are long conversations. When people call me, a lot of times they're calling me because something is going on, and I'm there for them in the best way I can. But when you're that person to a lot of people, you have to know when it's time to shut down, because I do enjoy my time the most, and I have to unpack. I have to unpack that, and I'm someone who really cares, and I'm a solution-driven type of person. I'm not one of those people that like to hear, okay, I know everyone has complaints, so you're gonna get that out. But after you get done getting that out, I'm about, okay, what's gonna be next? We cannot sit here. So let's cry, get it over with, a scream, punch, do whatever you have to do. Okay, cool, now we got that out the way. This is how we're going to recover from this. And I've learned a lot of people are not, some people are comfortable with just being in that misery, you know? So, yeah.
You know what's so funny? You're speaking my TikTok videos for today.
Wow.
Speaking them. I said to them, some people just love the misery. Some people just love, because my attitude is this, like I've had people come to me, and that's another thing. This is so, like, even as I'm speaking to you, I'm realizing this about you and me. I have learned how to minimalize the amount of time I give to each person and before I get results. So like with me, like people don't understand, doing the Queen of Shade for over 6 years and being, like you said, a solution-based entity. I'm like I'm quick. This is what you do.
Yes.
And I'm gone. Like I'm used to that, especially since I have mentees, and I'm not cheap. 20 years of experience, like literally my rate right now is $250. It's $250 for 60 minutes. Like, and my clients, they pay that. And it's like, but the thing about it is I give them 60 minutes more so because they want to be in my presence for 60 minutes.
Absolutely.
I could answer their question. And I've gotten that way. And, you know, I owe that to the grind because literally I had, you know, Instagram, when we first started 6 years ago, we had 15 seconds.
Yeah.
I got in the habit of saying what I needed to say to get the medicine in very quickly. So when I'm out and about, I don't long drawn out. And I tell my babies, because get it, it's there's a respect there too when people know. And that's the thing I was going to ask you about that, because now that they know that what you do, there's a respect there, because now there'll be babies I want to talk to on my own time. And they're like, oh, I'm sorry, I don't want to bother you. I know you're busy. Like, I get that now. And I'm like, no, you're okay. I got time, you know? Yes. But I wanted to say something about what you said. You know, one thing that I kind of makes me unfavorable to some people is because, like you said, when someone calls me and says, oh my God, I can't believe this happened, and they're crying and they're complaining, I understand that. But my next question to them is, what decisions did you make that led you there?
Because that's what's going to stop you from doing it again.
Because you didn't get there by just what the other person did. What did you allow?
You contributed.
Yeah, big time. You opened the door. Wait a minute. You opened the door. You unlocked the bolt lock and all the other locks down the door and let them walk in. You didn't tell me? Yeah. Say it again. Say it again.
And you participated.
Yeah. Yeah. So I like, God, you're in my TikTok videos today because I talked about no more Captain Save-A-Ho. No more. I talked about, I said, and I did one and I addressed it to Black women. I said, baby, you knew he was in the streets before you got with him. I said, but you like projects. You like to think you can change things. You can't change him. He wants to be in the streets. And this is more than him just wanting to be in the streets. He was raised in them. So this is him. This is who he is. Yes. I said, listen here, you what you doing trying to change him? I said, and then I went into the Maya Angelou and the Oprah Winfrey. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. I'm a firm believer that people can change, but the change process has to be completely up to them. Like it has to be.
It is up to them. My thing is, I go by this. If you coming around me, if my presence don't provoke you to change, then I have my answer. Because I'm not Iyanla. I'm not you down, giving you flashcards, doing 6 and 10 segments with you to try to get change, to endow change in you, because now I'm changing the whole dynamic of our relationship at this point. You know what I'm saying? My thing is, if you want to change, when you get in a certain presence of someone, it will automatically make you feel like, oh, if I'm gonna be around this person, I have to level up, or I have to change my way of thinking. Yeah. And you can tell that behavior whenever someone wants to, or whether they feel like that they can pull the same that they pull with everyone else. They know it's not gonna fly with certain people.
You know, I'm so guarded. My therapist always said that to me, and she said it's fine to be. You know, I've been celibate 10 years. I don't really go out. Like I'm so guarded, but people don't understand. I have to be guarded because of what I do.
Yes.
It's a wonderful thing that I love what I do, but what I do, if I'm listening to God all the time, I don't have time to listen to you.
And I want to do this because I've never done therapy, but I've always recommended people to go to therapy. And I think it's a healthy thing for everyone to be in therapy. And I'm gonna tell you the reason why I haven't done therapy yet is because I have always been like, I'm a realist. Mm-hmm. And I've always dealt with what came to me versus trying to run. So I know therapy is about getting dark before you get to the light. Yeah. And I've always been one of those type of people, like whatever the situation is, give it to me. And I've dealt with it. So I think that's another reason that matured me a lot, because a lot of people, you know, self-medicate or whatever the case was. That never was me. I just kind of just dealt with it. So I kind of always, I guess, done therapy, but in a different format. Because I've so like realistic and want to know, like, and if I went through something, I would be the type of person that I'll go home and I would dissect it. Like, how did I get myself in this situation? Like, period. In one move until I get the answer.
Mm.
And I thought it was normal. I thought it was everyone until, of course, I started getting older and I started getting friends, and I realized that, wow, y'all don't like to face y'all problems. Like, like, they'll do anything other than wanting to deal with what mess they created for themselves.
Yeah. You know, that's what I find too. Like, I was going to ask you, do you see, because you have a certain level of success in your life, do you see that other people tell you all the time, oh, you're such an old man, you don't want to do nothing? Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, oh, you don't want to do nothing. You don't want to go nowhere. And it's like, baby, I could, like, it's like, you don't understand, baby. I could go somewhere for months and you'd never hear from me, but that's based on my success level. Like, I find that not a lot of people understand that, like I said, wealthy entrepreneurial mentality. So many people want to be rich, but they're not wealthy. And the thing is, with wealth is not just finances. Wealth is peace of mind, peace of spirit, you know, good relationships, healthiness, healthy living, healthy eating, you know, like there's so much to that. You're literally abundant with your time, with your energy, with everything. It is definitely a lifestyle. Wealth is a lifestyle. It is not the pursuit of something. It is literally to be abundant in every area of your life. And you can't be abundant running behind every single person that likes to pop off. Like, I just, and you know, I do have to say, you know, with me turning 40, I don't think, like, because I'm very young at heart. I'm very young at heart, but I am so glad that I was raised by my grandmother, because there's more of I hesitate in a good way. Like, I slow down in a good way. I look at it like, because my thing is, you know, you have some people that just jump at it right away. I'm the type that steps back and sees where it's going, and then I head it off.
Pace.
Yeah.
Pace.
Yeah, I head it off. You know, they're running behind it. I'm like, no, head it off. Like, you know where you could. And then I hit so hard, and I'm like, oh, how did you do that? I'm like, well, we all have two eyes. We all saw where it was going. Y'all just started at the beginning of the race. I waited right here. Like, this is where I jumped in. It's so funny because, you know, I have so many, I don't have a lot of friends. I have a lot of acquaintances, but even they get so upset. Why don't you come here? Why don't you come there? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? And I finally just had to make videos. And I said, listen, I'm not egging you guys. I'm just protecting my peace and my energy. I can't do it. I can't.
For everyone, and especially now, because you're an entrepreneur as well as me. A lot of entrepreneurs today love to throw meet and greets. They love to have these, and a lot of them have good intentions. It's not them, but again, anytime you invite a lot of people somewhere, I choose the type of energy that I want to be around. I cannot make that choice if I'm coming in an environment where I know that you are inviting this type of attitude, this type of spirit, this type of attitude, that type of spirit. I just choose to support, but not support as being in attendance.
Yeah.
You know, so I've learned, even again, like I said, I've always been kind of guarded, but going back to always trying to be that everything person. Want me to tell you, when I learned this lesson, when I looked up and I was such in a dark place in my life. I think there's a video on YouTube about it. I did an interview with someone about the suicide moment that I had and how I was rescued from that. But that came from knowing better, but still going against my better judgment, trying to be any and everything for everyone else. I looked up, I was bankrupt. I went through all of these things, but I was not pointing the finger at no one else. Again, I've always been very hard on myself. I was like, how did you get yourself in this position? You too wise, you too smart. What did you do? And that's when I realized when you have so much going on all the time, you're not paying attention. Before you know it, you get caught up.
Mm-hmm.
Thing. So coming through all of that, going into a new stage in my life, rebuilding myself, because I rebuilt myself before I came into the insurance business. I was in a great place before I came in the insurance business.
Mm-hmm.
But all the way up to now, there's a lot of experience on this side.
Mm-hmm.
No judgment. I can feel people from here because we've all been through things and we live in this entrepreneurship Instagram world where a lot of people are so flashy and everything is just so great. And it's like, come on, guys, let's just be realistic here. You know what I'm saying? We are real people that have real issues that go through real shit. If we want to just be honest, you know what I'm saying? But you can come out, and that's what I want to say. You can come out, but you have to make that decision that, you know what, this time I'm going to rebuild with a purpose. So I live my life now on purpose. When you wake up with purpose, it's different.
Mm-hmm.
It's totally different than just rolling up out of the bed just to be getting up. I wake up with a purpose now, and I'm very guarded on who I allow come, in my life and in my space.
I love what you said about the meet and greets. I mean, we're entrepreneurs here. So a lot of them, they do meet and greets by territory so they can make some money. Everybody pays, they go to the meet and greet, but guess what? I'm not a meet and greet girl. No, because get this, I'm the type of person where what I do is so spiritually precise that when I'm speaking or singing, no one can move in the room. The energy change will throw me off. You literally have to sit still. And I knew this because, so what I did was, in the future, when I start to do things, I have to allow bathroom breaks, intermissions, things like that, so that people can get up and do what they need to do. But once you're in a room with me, you're in a room with me. I need all your phones to be no longer your focus. I need you, because my thing is, what I do is so much like channeling that if the energy is broken, I'm broken for the second. Now I've learned how to recover, but no, you can't move. I have to do what I have to do. It is very, very different and very weird. So I explain, I know that. So I'm just not, like you said, I'm not for a whole bunch of people and different energies around me. I'm kind of like my cat. I like the same energy every day. Ain't no new people coming to, I don't invite a lot of people to my house. I don't invite a lot of people to my house. Even when I move, it's not so much space in here now, but even when I move, a lot of people won't come to my house. I'm the type of person where, say I'm in Philadelphia, I'm from Philadelphia. Say I come back from Europe and someone says, oh, I'm going to come visit you. I will have you go to a hotel. I will put you in a hotel near my house. You will not be at my house, because my thing is, that's my space. Yes. where I commune. And it's kind of crazy because, we are the high priest of the village and, of the people. So you don't get in there. It's not even about my wigs, my dresses and stuff like that. No, it's about the conversations that I have every day. There are conversations that go on in my head with the divine every day. And then I get up and I've already been prepared for what I'm going to fire at TikTok, what I'm going to fire. I just started, it's so crazy. I just started a series called Telepathic Moments. And what I do is, you see me and I'm not speaking, but you know me, I got the Mariah Beyonce fan blowing and I'm just standing there and I'm posing, and then you hear my voice and I'm saying very, very real things. excuse me, about life and about situations and about people. And I call it telepathic moments because it's just like, it's what you don't get to hear. So I allow you to hear what's going on in my head. And I mean, that's another thing, like for things like, it's so funny because my grandmother said this to me. She was like, you know, people don't realize you're the same person, but there's so much growth with you. And I tell her all the time, spirit is with me so much that I don't know what I'm going to do until it's time to do it. Like even how to revamp my Instagram page and make it a marketing page specifically. Like I didn't know what to do. And my grandmother said to me, she says, oh, I see what you're doing on Instagram. This is great. And I said to her 2 hours ago, I didn't know that. 2 hours ago, I didn't know I was going to be doing that. So she nodded her head because she knows me. She said, baby, you work the way God tell you to work. But I can't, yeah. No, say it again because it cut out.
Your process, and you're talking about how you are when you're performing and whenever you're doing what you do. I'm gonna tell you who it reminds me of when you and specify how you don't like certain things. It reminds me of Lauryn Hill. She very much like that, where people don't understand, and a lot of times people think that she's late just to be late. She learned from the great Nina Simone. And this is how I know people don't do their research, because Nina Simone was that same way. Because Nina said that her teacher taught her that you do not do anything on that piano. You do not start until the people are ready to receive you. So it's an energy thing for Lauren when she performs too. If she feel that they're not ready, she would not come out. So a lot of people complain about, oh, she's late, she don't start on time. If the crowd is not right, if they're all over the place, she's not going to come out and try to gather you. And she's not that type of girl. She wanted to be right. Now I've seen her get better over the years too, but it was very critical for her when she came back out, because she would like sit backstage and wait till the energy is right. So when you was detailing that out and specifying your process, she was the one that came to mind, was Lauren.
And you know what's so crazy? Like, and my thing is, you know, as an entrepreneur, because I sing well. I'm a soprano, so mezzo soprano. So it's my thing is, but as soon as you started telling me how she is, I knew exactly what she was doing. She's waiting for the crowd to get there. Get in your seat, sit down, you know, don't be moving, don't run around, don't do this, don't do that. And I am that way. Like, I believe in being on time. I will be there, get it. My thing is, I'm there before the crowd gets there, because I'm ready to tell one of my secrets. I got goosebumps. That's spirit letting me know, you know, you get ready to say something, the spirit just let me know. But I'm the type of person where I arrive 4 to 5 hours earlier because I need to walk up and down the empty stadium. I need to put my energy and God's energy everywhere. I just need to tread it with my feet. So I'm there way in advance because I need to literally bless the whole room. Like, and my friend, I remember when I first said that to one of my friends, and my friend was like, damn, you a Palo Santo stick. I'm like, yes, energy wise, I'm a Palo Santo stick. Yes, I am. I need to sage. I am that. That's in my spirit. I need it bare first. So I need to see what's going on, everything. And then the people come in. And I've done that in places and people are like, ooh, it was real good in here. I don't know what happened. It's because I prayed in there. I walked in there. The shaman actually walked through the seats, and, you know, like I need to do it that way so that it's right, because people are, you know, you never know. And that is true. You never know what kind of day people are having. You never know if they're, you know, and that's the thing as entertainers, because even though I'm an intellectual entertainer, I'm still an entertainer. People turn me on to feel better.
Yes.
So, you know, you never know what kind of day a person is having. And I would never want to be the type of entertainer or performer that was not sensitive to the fact that you came here to feel better. And that's the thing, but I stand in it. Like, I stand in it online and everything. You came here to feel better, so let me do my job. Stop moving. You came here. Yeah, you came here to feel better. So that means I need to do my job, because you don't just need me to sing. You need me to sing, and then you need me to give you words that will not just get, it's not a drug. It's not a drug. This isn't dopamine. This is a life change. My baby said this to me the other day. He said, and I had already been saying it, but he was like, we need this so much, because he was on FaceTime with me. And he said, we need this so much. He was like, you don't understand how you lift us. And he was like, when you don't speak, lives are lost. He said, you don't know how many people that were suicidal and this and that and feeling all kinds of ways about themselves, and they encounter your work, and it just totally. And what I love that he said was, he was like, and it's not just a momentary thing. That thing lasts. It's like a mind change,
A seed is planted.
Yeah, and that's really what my job is. I'm that guy. I plant seeds, and my thing is, it's not my job. God didn't tell me to stay there and water them.
No.
He didn't tell me to turn over the dirt. If I plant a seed in your life, it's your responsibility to water it. It's your responsibility to take care of it. I planted it. Now you got to help it grow. And I was saying that to my, while I was in the lavatory, just getting ready. And I was just like, it's not about wealth. It's not about giving away your money. Because I thought about, there's so many people, and I hate that this world is so monetarily driven. But I said in my mind, I was like, God, I know what you mean now. It's not my job to give away all of my money. My position and what I have done is to motivate. It will motivate everyone that has supported me and everyone that has seen me grow. It will motivate them to be like, if she could do it, I can do it. And that's where the motivation comes in. Because, I used to think, well, I'll give this and I'll give that and I'll give this. And the divine said to me, and you'll be broke.
And that's how we was taught. So
say that.
Honest about it. That's how we was brought up. You will be blessed by giving. The Bible says to give, and it shall be given unto you. But there's a lot of ways to give.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not applicable to giving your money. You giving your time. You giving your energy. You giving your blessings. You giving your presence. You being a beacon of light to others. So to me, when I hear the Bible says, be fruitful and multiply, a lot of people like to equate that to children. I don't think that it's about children. Being fruitful and multiply is being a success and being able to teach other people how to do the same thing. That's being fruitful and multiplying. Because like you said, you have mentees. I have mentees. We have done something. We set out to do something. We doing it. We did it. And we have helped others and inspired others to do the same. If you are inspiring someone, you are being a blessing, even if it's just one person. And that's why I was transparent, because I don't like for people to see and think that everything has just always been, so great. Everything has always been good. I've always had money. No, that was not always the case.
And what I love too is I do these moments online as well, where I remind people that your favorite social media influencer, your favorite singer, your favorite person, we are posting our happy times. It's on purpose.
Controlled content.
Yes, that's the word. It's controlled content. I like that word. So kudos to you. Kudos to you. Controlled content, because literally we're showing you what we want you to see.
Mm-hmm.
And I let everyone know, hello, there's so much more that goes on. I'm one of those people. I'm like, there's so much more. I may not tell you every single thing, but I'm definitely going to tell you there's a lot that went into this. Man, let me tell you, today, me and this wig, we fought. I couldn't get it right. I couldn't get it right. And I was like, Lord, I'm about to snatch this wig off my head and put on another one. And the divine said to me, no, leave it alone. Mm-hmm. Rock with it, go with it. So that's what I did. I went with it, but they don't know. And little things like that, to someone who is very particular about their image, very particular about what they give, you want to make sure, and people know me for that. You always come to us, and I love messy hair. Like, so I tell people all the time, you ain't getting a curl and pressing curl from me. You getting a wild woman that looked like she done blew through Africa and got lightning in her eyes and meditating and stuff. Like, yeah, that's what you get from me. You get that a lot. So you know, but people need to understand that, like, and that's why I also try to be very transparent with my following, and I do it a lot on TikTok, is I tell all kinds of things about myself. And because I had this one thing, and I said, you know, I'm not a jealous person. I've never been a jealous person, but I know what it's like to envy, because I worked so hard, and I felt at times my reward should have come quicker and should have been more massive. And the divine spoke to me, and I blessed the people by telling the truth. I said, the divine spoke to me, and he said, listen here, you looking at everybody else. I said, yes, God, I am. He said, do you want their check or the check I have for you? And I said, quickly, see, when he speaks, I'm very obedient. So I quickly said, I want the check that you have for me with my name on it. He said, good. So then stop looking at their check, because I have a check for you. And that's the thing about it. People don't understand. The reason why I became the Queen of Shade is because in many instances, it's my trademark, I own it. But in many instances, God gets me together.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yes, like a lot of the stuff I have said to people, and they're like, oh, the shade was this, and oh, it was that. It's because God used that same tone with me to get me all the way together.
And sometimes I understand, because I'm there with you, Queen, because I've had clients that if I was able to post, would change everything about my following, my name, and my career. But sometimes you get those clients that are humongous, and they don't want people knowing. Mm-mm. Because what I do is very personal.
Yes.
So in my mind at the time when I got the client, I'm like, wow, this is going to change the game for me. But you'd be surprised. Certain people don't want to do a testimonial for you because they feel like you're my insurance. I don't want the world knowing that. So I actually have about 3 very, 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 very famous clients that could change the game for me, but don't want it. I can't say their names, and I can't put it out there. So I kind of was like, oh God, like, wow, this I've had 3 opportunities. Like, people knowing that they are my clients alone would change everything for me. But sometimes it don't come in the format that you think is going.
Yeah, and you know what else too? It will also come because, see, that's the problem with these generations. They're so fame driven. Mm-hmm. Fame should never be an end game. Mm-mm. Fame should be a tool. And how I use it, I rose to notoriety. What I do is, like you said, I'm a beacon of light. I just simply shine my light on other people. Mm. That's what I do all day long, every day of my life. I am not interested. Now, mind you, I interviewed my vocal coach a couple of months ago. And she asked me, she said, well, why did you want fame in the first place? And I said, when I was younger, I wanted fame because I thought it would fill the holes in my soul, the abandonment issues, the people that talked about me. Oh, he's gay. Oh, he's this. Oh, he's that. I thought that I could pour fame. And I literally said that, pour fame into the holes in my soul, and that it would somehow congeal and make me whole. I said, but as I continued to live, I realized fame was very empty, and that I had to do the work myself. You know, and in therapy, I got therapy. And I said to her now, I said, I don't want fame now. Unfortunately, fame comes with what I do as an entertainer. But how I use it, it's not like, I'm not interested in the Hollywood. I'm not interested in A-list. I'm not interested in any of that. I've always been very frank with the divine. I say, Lord, I'll make my millions. I know how to make them because I did the work. So I'll make my millions. And it's so crazy because I say, like, even as the days go by, I tell my grandmother, we got to live in a place where we can just move around. Like, that's why I'm very interested in Europe anyway, because the treatment there is different. They don't necessarily fawn over you. They respect what you do. And that's the difference. So that fame is a lot different because it is actually, you serve a purpose. Here, it's like, oh, I just want to take a picture with you because you're known.
Yeah.
It's like, and then you have to, and me, I'm one of the people, baby, do you know what I do?
Absolutely. 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 And you know what? It's so funny that you said that, because when I was in prayer, I was like, you know what? I'm thinking that this could blow my career up. But everyone following, I don't need.
Mm-mm.
I may have a superstar client, but when you look at the type of followers they have, these people are not going to fit me in no way at all. So when you pull back the layers, you may not understand it in the beginning, but you start to understand that, yeah, you can have a whole bunch of followers coming from this client, but this could very well not be what you need.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you understand that and keep on going even harder.
Yeah. And you know what? That is so keen of you to say, because that again goes back to our statements about protecting our energy. I don't want all the, listen, I'm a very classy queen. I don't want all the ratchets. I don't want all the ratchets. Because my thing is, I like to respond to my following. I like to say thank you. I don't want, oh yes, slay bitch. I don't want all of that. No. Listen, and that was the thing for a long time. I people knew my name and I didn't even know they knew who I was. Like, I would go to people's pages and I'm like, I would see them, they would come into my sphere. I would understand, like, oh wow, this person's great. I go to follow them and it says follow back. And I'm like, oh, they were following me and I didn't even know until it was time to know. And that's the thing. Like, I look at it like it's so crazy. I love him. I love Lil Nas X, but I don't want Lil Nas X's career. I want to stand on stage and do that. I'm 40 years old. I don't want to do that. I don't want no parts of that. Yes. Baby, I can sing. Yes, I can sing. I got music. I got albums out. I can hit the track. But get this, most places I go, I didn't go to sing. I went to tell you about yourself. I went to tell you about how you can get to success. I went to tell you about how you can live a better life and be more authentic. That's what I came to do. Like that's what I do. Like, and it's so crazy because my grandmother used to say that about it because when I started, it was music. And then the Queen of Shade was born. And at first she was very fiery and very, robust and bitch this and bitch that. And then she became more. She became life, like the breath of life itself in people's lungs. Like, you need, like, it was like the meat of the matter. I began to feed people ideas that they could chew on for a long time and be full. And it was so crazy because even, I have a lot, it's so crazy because, I'm gay. I'm not trans, but I'm a trans illusionist, cross-dresser. I curse like a sailor. I do all of these things. And I have so many clergy acquaintances. And people will ask me, well, how is that? This is that and the other. And I say, because God fashioned me and told me he was sending me to a group of people that nobody else wanted to deal with. Yes. And that's the LGBTQIA people. God said, I'm going to send you to people that nobody else wants to deal with. You will be their queen and you will restore spirituality in them, because I never stopped loving them. I never forgot them. I made them to be who they are, and they will see that in your life. God made me to do this. He made me to be this. And I do it so effortlessly because it is exactly who I was meant to be.
Wow. And it doesn't feel, it's work, but when you find your purpose, it doesn't feel like work. You can do it. Doesn't mean that you don't get tired. Of course, you're human. But when you're operating in your purpose, because a lot of times you start off by thinking that what you're going to be doing is one thing. And before you know it, in the process of that, you have found the actual jewel that is for you all along.
And it's so crazy because I'm going to say this. My whole life, I never thought I was smart. Now, mind you, grandmother moved me from the ghetto to the suburbs. I went to a very good, in Pennsylvania, we have blue ribbon schools. They're accredited college prep schools. I went to one of those. I got accepted. Listen, but I had horrible test anxiety, bombed my SATs because of my grades and my writing, the essay, everything. I got accepted to 4 colleges. They didn't even blink. They said, yes, we'll take you. And it's so crazy that even with all of that, I say all of that to say that I felt like when I had to be medically withdrawn from school, that I, for some reason, wasn't smart anymore. I somehow was stupid, that I had to return to Philadelphia without a degree and work dead-end jobs. I felt that I, for some reason, wasn't intelligent. And it was so bad, Jamil, that when I would encounter, I didn't even like to go to the suburbs where I was from, because when I would encounter my classmates, I would burst into hysterical tears and start crying. And they'd be like, what's wrong? And I couldn't even audibly answer them. I was a mess. And I felt like I was one of those people where people don't understand education, especially for Black people, is everything, especially when your grandmother is an educator. You want and has done so much for you. You want to follow in her footsteps. You want to, and get it. It's not just, see, people have to understand something. That does mean something. People can say, well, if you're this, go get it. Go do this and go do that. They're like, I don't shake my nose at anybody who went and got a college degree. I actually respect them more than most people would ever think that I would. I respect education, because literally education is the only way to have a better lifestyle. It doesn't matter if you're a singer, it doesn't matter if you're a dancer, it doesn't matter. You have to learn new things about that craft so that you can be the best at it and perfect it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what happened was, and this is very recent. This is recent as in this year. I finally let go of the idea that I was stupid. I let go of the idea. And I say and my grandmother says to me all the time, and listen, she always checked me. She get mad. She doesn't like when I speak like this, because she's like, baby, you're an intellectual entertainer. You're leading with that brain. So she always would say to me, baby, how many years is undergrad? 4. How many years is a master's? 2. How many years PhD? 2 more. So that's about 8 years. She said, baby, how many years have you lived with me as an adult? 16. 16. How many years have you had therapists, psychologists, doctors, lawyers, accountants? 16 years. She said, baby, your life degree weighs more than a PhD ever could.
Ever could. That's the truth. Yeah. That is absolute truth.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm with your grandmother there, and I'm certain I can just only imagine what your self-talk was to yourself when you was in that. When you're someone who's anal, like you and myself, your self-talk is everything. If you have negative self-talk, you're not going to have good days. It don't take much. It don't take much, because if you don't have it on the inside, it's really nothing external that can sway that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm happy that you let that go. Even if it was this year, even if it was yesterday, the fact that you finally have stepped in that and knowing that all that you need is in you now. You possess everything that you need to get you to this next level. You're going to keep on growing, keep on being greater, keep on inspiring people along the way and networking, because this is how we get to the next level. You never know, someone that you have blessed or touched or brought on your platform, you just never know how things end up going in the future. So I take my hats off to you, Queen, for what you do.
And I thank you for that, and I receive that, and openly I received that. But you're right, because like I just recently started doing interviews for certain Hollywood shows, and it was because the executive producers, screenwriters, showrunners and everything, they had been following me as the Queen of Shade. They had been following me for years, and they're like, Queen, now you're doing interviews. Here, you can do this. They're throwing me, tossing me work because of an impact that I had on their lives that I didn't even know I had.
And you stay consistent.
Yeah.
That is the thing. A lot of times people watch and they don't have any intentions of being involved right then and there. They just want to see, are you going to stay consistent? Because a lot of people start things and they stop.
Right. Right.
And go totally and do something totally different. And it happens a lot. And a lot of been there. But for you to start this and you've been doing your thing, because you have a lot of content out there that says a lot. That says a lot about you.
Yeah. And my thing is, it's like you said, I found my purpose. You know, I'm in this, when I'm done this, I do the editing, and it's not really much editing. I just add the beginning and the ending, the intro and the outro. And then I turn all the lights down low, and I'm on my bed with my 2 computers and my 2 phones, and I'm working, because, you know, this is for YouTube, this, you know, like, and then I'll go work on TikTok, and then I'll go post for Instagram, like this. It is a joy for me to have found what I love to do and what I'm good at, because that was the underlying thing. I didn't feel that I had anything in my life, that I was good at. And that was the thing. And my grandmother, she'd get on me because I would be like, I've never succeeded at anything. She like, baby, even when you was out there sick, you succeeded in getting to a hospital. You succeeded, you know, you didn't die. She's like, do you know how dangerous bipolar disorder is? I'm like, yes, it is. And she's like, and you're still here. You're still here. I don't have to have someone have a conservatorship over my money. I don't have to have somebody speak for me. I don't have to have somebody be power of attorney. Like literally, my brother is schizophrenic. Like literally, like it is so bad. And, you know, for me to be able to do what I do, you have to love it. It gave me so much purpose. And then to see that, like you said, it started off as one thing, but even in my music, you listen to my music and I'm teaching. That's what I'm doing, you know, I'm teaching. So it's just like, yeah. And she says to me all the time, because I'm the only one in my organization that doesn't have a degree. Everybody else has a degree and they work for me. And my grandmother always says that to me. She like, baby, where's the mistake? Point out the mistake that God made with your life. And I can't. And you know, I love her for that. And I'm going to miss that when she's gone. I'm going to miss that. But like I said that so we could get back to life insurance. But no, but I'm going to miss that when she's gone. But literally, even with her, I'm enjoying the moments that I have with her. And I'm learning all that I can. And I'm one of those ones, because my grandmother, she says it all the time. She says she has 5 children. 1 is gone because of HIV complications. The other 4 are still alive. And she says that. She says, out of all of my children, you are my son. She says, because you took what I said, you listened to me, you applied it, and you built something that the whole world can see where the lessons are. And that's the thing. She always talked about, this was her thing. People would like her kids would try to steal her credit. She would tell them to do something and they'd go off and do it. And people are praising them and they're not saying my mama taught me. You know, and me, I'm the exact opposite. I'm always in everything I do, with every single conversation, even outside. I'm like, well, my grandmother says this, and my grandmother says that, and my grandmother says this. And that's because being in the suburbs and having family, friends that had families, I saw their respect for their adults and their elders and their things like that. And for me, I would say to people, I would say to my grandmother, and she's like, she always says to me, you're so smart. And I'm just like, thank you. Like I have to get used to saying thank you, because she says, I would say to her, the fact that you are living and the fact that you are my mentor of mentors gives me validity. Because who wants to go overseas and have no family, have no background? They're not going to trust you. You're not going to get far. You have no roots.
Mhm.
It's in being able to show where you came from, even if it's just one person. Being able to say, my grandmother, this is the matriarch of my family. She taught me X, Y, Z. It gives me credibility. They say,
Yes.
okay, he ain't got nothing to hide. He
Yeah.
came from something, you know, might not have been much, but I came from something. My grandmother is a brilliant woman. She's a
There's
brilliant
a
woman.
lot. It means a lot to the matriarchs of the family when you pay it forward, because that's all they want is to see what they've worked so hard for and the life lessons. Like, you cannot pay for the experience that they have. They lived it.
Mm-hmm.
They lived it. And a lot of times people that are younger than them don't like to listen to the elders.
Mm-hmm.
They know than the elders. Oh, that's a has been. This is new. So whenever they have someone that really respect them, appreciate them, and pay it forward and credit them, I'm certain it hits a soft spot. I'm happy for you because my grandmother was my everything too. And my biggest fear was losing her. And I lost her actually right as soon as I came in the insurance industry. And it was going to be a surprise for her because she was one of the women that was big on life insurance. And I knew that she would have never thought that I would have came into this type of industry, because again, it's not a sexy, it's not a fly industry. And she passed a week before her 80th birthday. I was going to let her know on her 80th birthday, and she died the week before. So the fact that I love this because you and your grandmother are tight, like me and my grandmother was,
Mm-hmm.
and she's been to watch you become this beacon. Well, seen it before we got to even know who you are, and to see you start something and to build a following and to be able to doing this every day full time. I can just only imagine how proud she is, and I'm happy that you have her to share these moments with.
Thank you so much, because she even 2 days ago, she woke me up and she asked me to come downstairs because I love this townhouse because I got the whole upstairs. She got the whole downstairs. So she asked me to come downstairs, and I sat down and she said to me, she said, I just want you to know I love you. She said, and you know, she wasn't really a person because of how she was raised. She wasn't really a person that could say those words out loud. She was more of an action person, but she sat me down. She says, I love you. And she said, all my agenda was your whole life was to love some of the hurt away and the disappointment away because of the people that were supposed to love you and supposed to take care of you and supposed to, you know, raise you. They didn't raise you. And she said, I just wanted you to always know that you weren't a throwaway child, that I loved you more than anything, and that you have exceeded my expectations above and beyond any that I've had for any member of my family. Yeah, it was big. I like to stop from crying. I cracked a joke. I was like, so tell me what you don't like. And she looked at me and she said something, and I talked to my therapist about it today. She said, you don't know how to accept true love. She said, and she says, and I'm the cause as well. She said, because I wasn't always into love and expressing love. She said, you don't know how to like genuinely take true love. And I told her, I said, you're absolutely right. So now I'm working in therapy, and that's what a lot of my videos were today, about love and about what it looks like and what emotional abuse is, and you know, a lot of different things. And I love the fact that she's still here and she's smart as a whip. And because we get to learn together, I learn from her, but then she also learns from me. And she'll say that all the time. She's like, you taught me something new. Like, you taught me something this and you taught me something that. And it's so funny that you said that, because my nephew, he's 21, and he's always like, oh, that was the old school. That was the old school. This is the new school. But guess what? He get his ass in trouble. Guess who he come see?
Old school.
Yes, he get it. We let him keep his key. 5 o'clock in the morning, he walking through our door, waking us up to talk to us, because life is kicking that ass.
Oh yeah.
Okay, life is kicking that ass, and he needs to know he got the support of the people he always had. So that's the thing. So when he walked through here and we tell him, we say, baby, we up. We always up. We stay late at night. She be on her phone because she has a group of people she sends affirmations out to every night, like early in the morning. And then me, I'm editing, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. So we're up. So he's up too in his own apartment, and he only live around the corner. So, he'll come through and he's like, oh, I hope I didn't disturb. And we're like, get in here, boy. What is it? And I remember the other morning, I hugged him because he started to cry because he said, he's been through a lot of abuse, physical abuse, mental abuse, emotional abuse at the hands of one of my siblings, his mother. And he said to me, like, sometimes I don't feel worthy of God's love. And me being the shaman, I just started to minister to him. I was like, listen, God said he loves you. God told you he loves you. He's always loved you. He will always love you. And he started to cry. And I told him, I said, the problem with you is you keep trying to change. I said, things happen to us in our lives that are unforeseen and negative, but the lessons that they teach us are not negative. We grow and we learn from every adversity. Take the knowledge that you learned and apply it. And he started crying, and I let him know. I said, listen, he knows anything go wrong. He lives with his girlfriend. I said, anything go wrong, you got a key to this house. And that's something that a lot of young Black men don't have. I didn't have it,
They don't have that at all. Yeah. Like, they're really out there on their own, undeveloped, trying to figure it out.
And that's the worst. That's the worst.
A lot of people don't have it figured out. A lot of people, for us to know what we want to do in life, for us to have found that, is half the battle.
Yeah.
Other people have no clue. Mm-hmm. So they're not living, they're just existing. Mm-hmm. Which is why I can understand. I know that's why I don't go a lot of places, because I understand why a lot of people are evil. A lot of people don't feel like they have nothing to live for.
Yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I paused there because I wanted that to drop. I wanted that to hit heavy. A lot of people, they don't. And the funny thing about wealth and wealthy people is we don't hang around with people that have nothing to lose. You got to have everything to lose, because you're going to be on your best behavior and I'm going to be on my best behavior, because we got shit between us that we can't afford to go to jail and all of this stuff. No. We got shit to lose. And that's something. And he's getting it. He's only 21 and he's an artist. And I tell him all the time, focus, you got time. You got time, boy. You got time. You don't. I say, look at me. I turned 40 in September. You've got time. And I tell him all the time, it's not going to take you as long as it took me. I had to go the way that I had to go because God saw that I had to go that way. You don't have to go that way. Your way is your way. And then I'm like, and then you got me helping. You ain't even going to have to worry about it being all that long time. Absolutely. Yeah, but that was also me and my grandmother were talking, and he's probably going to watch this. He's probably going to see this. But that's another reason why we don't necessarily want to take and remove our presence completely from Philadelphia, because we want him to always be able to have a safe space. Because he really is like my son. He really is like my son. And I don't, like, on Father's Day, he came like a couple of days after Father's Day, and he's like, I'm sorry I didn't come for Father's Day. And I'm like, listen here. And I made a joke about it. I said, I'm your uncle. I said, can we break the cycle of Black families where your uncle is your father, your cousin, your sister, and your brother? Like, I'm your uncle. I'll be your uncle. I don't want to be uncle, papa, daddy, nothing. I am your uncle. And so I'm like, did you call your father on Father's Day? And he said, yes. I said, because I see you every other day. I have you. Your father doesn't. I have you. So call your dad. And we laugh about it. But it's just been so amazing to just sit and conversate with you. As you can see, this was clearly just a conversation. We have been speaking, and you're so wise. And I want to ask you, what's your birth sign?
I am a Capricorn.
That's why I get along with Capricorns. I'm a Libra, but you guys are very business oriented, very family oriented. And like you said, realist.
Yes.
realist, like that. Every
Almost fault.
what you say is all your fault.
I said almost to a fault.
Yeah.
Realist almost to a fault.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what's so funny? I thank the divine for maturing me into being analytical and to, being those things. Cause I'm very much a dreamer. But what happened was there came a point in my career where it stopped being a dream and started being a business.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I can talk to people and motivate them to dream, but that's not enough. Okay, so now what we gonna do? You got your LLC. That's what we start doing. Trademark your name. Did you? So you know what? I get so upset with people because there's so many people on Instagram and on social media that have built these huge followings. And they have these famous names, these famous handles. Everybody knows their handle. And they didn't spend the $2,000 to get it trademarked.
Oh, you'd be very surprised.
Yeah, it's a lot of them. I noticed that. It's a lot of them. And it makes me upset and I just leave it alone. I'm like, listen, because you ain't pay me $250 to tell you. So you pay me and I tell you, like that's, listen. And I've gotten better with my price is the price. You see all that I do, the price is the price. Like I've gotten even better with that. Price is the price, baby. That's the price.
Have to. I mean, it's your business. It's not charity work.
No, it's not. No, this is not a foundation. We're an LLC. But yeah, so anyway, give me 3 words that inspire and empower you, that have kind of been the thread of your life and why you've been so successful.
3 words that inspires me. Ooh, that's a great question. I never thought about that.
Yeah.
Especially being the fact that I'm a reader. So my 3 favorite words. I would say the number 1 would be favor.
Mm-hmm.
I would definitely say favor. What would be the second one? I want to say powerful, but we can go with powerful.
One more.
I'm channeling me and my personality right now. So I would say favor, powerful. Let me think about that because I don't just want to say a word.
Well, get that. You know what's so funny? One of my dear friends, he did a documentary piece on me back in 2018. It was my biggest year. His name is Chris Lyles. He was a director. He was a singer, model. He was beautiful. He was on Power when back then. And he did, in the documentary, he asked me, give me 3 words that inspire and empower you. And I was able to do it. I don't remember what they are off the top of my head, but he kind of like, he went on to figure out his life and stuff like that. And that was kind of like my way of paying homage to him, because I haven't spoken to him in a long time. So it was kind of my way of paying homage to him by asking my guests, every single one, right before we end, what are the 3 words that inspire and empower you? So you said favor, you said powerful.
And I would say wealthy.
Wealthy, thank you, because wealth it's a wealth of things. It's so many different things. Tell everybody where they can find you on social media.
Yeah, so Jamil Warren, that is JAMIL WARREN. That is my handles on all social media platforms.
Yes. I want to thank you for taking this opportunity to sit and talk to us.
I loved it. I loved every moment. I really enjoyed this conversation. It was amazing.
You know what's so crazy? I'm a Northerner, and there was a boy that I absolutely adored, loved in college. He was from Florida. He was a Capricorn. I get along with you guys. We could just talk. I used to talk to him for hours every night. Every night for like a year and a half. Every night we just sit on the phone mind you, same campus, but we'd be on the phone because he was a football player. He didn't want nobody to know.
Got it.
But I want to thank you so much for coming to my camera. I will listen. I got your tech. I got your phone number, so I will be calling you about some life insurance policies. But ladies and gentlemen, don't go away. Ladies and gentlemen, you have heard the vocal stylings of Mr. Jamil Warren. And before we go, I'm going to read it to you again. He has sold over 1.2 million in policies. He's a multi-award-winning top producer. He has clients in over 45 states. He has also been featured in pnjnews, Fox News, CBS News, and NBC. So if you need a life insurance policy, even if you don't think you need one, you need to get over here. And I'm going to put all the links to his stuff underneath this video so we can all get some life insurance together, because it really is important that you prepare for the hereafter. Say bye, but don't go anywhere.
All right. Bye, y'all. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
So did you enjoy? I hope you did. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, and don't forget to cash at me at the Queen of Shade. I am your favorite content creator, right? Right. You want to see more of this content, right? Right. Cash at me. I love you. Mwah.
I've got my black stilettos on. Don't you make me take them off. I'm assuming first position. Gonna show you I'm a boss. I've been given 60 seconds just to put my thing down. I'll have you wanting my stilettos by the time I turn around. Turn that TV down.